Boys and girls, here is our analog clock that we are going to be using. When you look at the clock, you notice that we have the numbers from 1 all the way around to 12. Now, on the clock, we are going to be looking at two hands on the clock. This is what they call these hands. The long hand, the one that is blue, is called the minute hand. And it travels all the way around the clock one time before the hour hand moves to the next number. The short hand that you see here, or the red one, is called the hour hand, and that's the one that tells us the number to read first. So when you're looking at this, you will see that the short hand right now is pointing to the number 9. And the minute hand is pointing to the 12. When the clock is in this position, we say that it is 9 o'clock. Anytime the minute hand is pointing at the 12, we refer to that as o'clock, or we write that as 00 when we are writing it. Now, I want you to notice that as I move the minute hand around the clock, the hour hand starts to shift and move closer to the 10. But I have to go all the way around back to the 12 before that hour hand sits on the number 10. And so now we would call this 10 o'clock. You might notice that there are numbers outside of the red numbers, and these tell us the minutes. So it takes 60 minutes for us to get the minute hand all the way around the clock one time. Let's try another one. I'm going to move it a little bit faster this time. And let's say that my hour hand is pointing to the 1 and my minute hand is pointing to the 12. We would call this 1 o'clock. Now, I want to try one and see if you can do this one. So let me go a little faster here. Now, look at my clock. Look where my hour hand is pointing and my minute hand is pointing. What time would you say that this was? I think I heard that. I hope that you said 4 o'clock. If you did, you're right. Give yourself a pat on the back for that right answer. Let's try one more. Now when you look at my clock, remember the hour hand is the red one, the blue hand is the minute one, and tell me what time our clock says. If you said 7 o'clock, you are right. You have this. Great job, boys and girls. Now, we're going to practice a little bit with half past the time. And we are half past. That means that our minute hand is halfway around the clock, which means that we are going to be pointing at the 6. So when I moved my minute hand around, did you notice that the hour hand moved slightly past the 7? And now it kind of sits between the 7 and the 8. But it is still considered 7 because we haven't reached the 8 yet. So this is half past 7, or we call this 7:30 because it's 30 minutes past the hour. All right, let's try that again. I'm going to go around a couple of times and see how we're going past the 9 right now, down to the 6 here for the minute hand. So again, we are between the numbers 9 and 10. Now, we're not to the 10 yet, so it's not 10 o'clock. It's still 9 something, but we are not right at the 12, so it's not 9 o'clock. but we are half past because the minute hand has gone halfway around the clock and is now pointing at the 6. So it is half past 9, or we say it is 9:30. That's where that 30 minutes comes in, because 30 is half of 60, which tells us we are halfway back around the clock. Let's try another one. Notice where my hour hand is, between what two numbers, which one did it just go past, and I have my minute hand down here on the 6, which means that we are halfway around or half past. So what would we call this? Look at what two numbers were between. Which one did we just go past? If you said 12, you are right. So this would say 12:30, or half past 12. When we write it, we're going to write it as 12:30. Okay, let's try another one. And here we are. Now, what did we just go past? Which number? If you said 3, you are so smart. And we are on the 6, which means 30 minutes passed. So this is 3:30. All right, boys and girls, I hope you're ready to do some work on some papers with me. So hang in there. We're going to do some of it together, and then I have a few pages for you to try to do on your own. I am so proud of you. Keep working hard, and I will see you back in a few minutes.